Hey beautiful shining stars, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, especially that we are in this divine energy of the new year. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of manifesting content for this radiant energy and this timeline. Um, you know that I have just been raging about my book, How to Script the Life You Desire, and that I'm creating a new class on a scripting. Is going to be a 6-week class with a lot of daily prompts, scripting exercises, meditations, along with my videos sharing with you how to work this beautiful, magnificent law of attraction into your life. So you may want to be part of my webpage or once part of my email, so once this all goes up, you're able to catch all of that. Also, my Etsy shop is right now, a bunch of the goodies are 50% off. So most of the oils and stuff like that, because I will be creating new oils for the new year. So I'm just kind of like making room for more stuff. You can't see, but I have a stash of my personal favorite oils. Some of my oils have been with me for years and I absolutely love them. I actually have Blue Moon oil from All Hallows Eve of 2020, which was also super moon, and that is from my personal stash. I used to sell the little vials. I don't now. I know I no longer have enough to sell the little vials. It's just so much energy that goes into my oils, so you may want to take advantage because some of the oils are less than $10. So you might want to go on over and take advantage of all that. I will link my Etsy shop below as well. So today I want to talk about identity shifting. A lot of people have been talking about identity shifting, and what I notice is that no one really addresses it to a way of really comprehending what it means to identity shift. So I'm going to share something with you. Now, the issue with us manifesting is the doubt and the failure. We always feel that we're going to fail, that we don't deserve it, that we're not good enough. So those are some of the emotions and subconscious vibrations that have been embedded into our DNA since we were really small. And that is not just your fault, because you really, when you're in your mom's womb, you have no control over her emotions, your parents' emotions, the people around them, the energies that are around them. Everything in our life is energy. One of my hardest manifesting issues is that my husband has a very topsy-turvy energy. One day he's like this, the next day he's like that. So sometimes it takes me to like go completely hermit and not talk to him or not allow him to talk to me when I'm doing like major spiritual work or creating books and stuff, because I don't want whatever comes out of his mouth to interfere and block what I'm trying to create. Now, we've been together for a long time, so he understands that when I go into that auto writing zone, when I'm connecting with spirit, he leaves me alone. He understands that I'm in my zone, so he doesn't get in the way. His issue is that he's a bit sassy and sarcastic, so he'll like say little things and he doesn't mean to say them. That's just kind of like the way he is. I've been working with him to try to get him out of that zone, but it's really hard when you have a way of being, especially I feel like his family's like that as well. So I want to share with you, and I talked about this in one of my other videos. Failure is something that we feel in our mind, and I want you to grasp that, because what I'm going to be sharing with you guys in my new scripting book and class and all that stuff that's going along with it is how to really, and this is going to sound horrible, how to really dumb it down, how to really water it down to a way that you could understand, even though you're so veiled, even though you're so fogged, even though you're so conditioned. Now let me break that down even further before I lose half of you, because I know, because I used to be that way too. Like, what is she talking about? She doesn't know what she's talking about, and then you leave. Usually that's ego telling you this is not for you, you're not going to learn anything new, don't listen to her, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And what happens is you don't learn what you need to learn in order to ascend. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Back in 2011, I was introduced to Kabbalah. I didn't know anything about Kabbalah. I didn't understand the Hebrew letters. I didn't know about the divine energies and divine names and everything that goes around Kabbalah. And at the same time, I was gifted the story of Napoleon Hill. Again, I read the book and I didn't understand it. I didn't comprehend it. I thought it was very weird, just him telling a bunch of stories, where's this coming from? So it was during that first shift that really helped me see that we are a frequency and that we acknowledge things, understand things, comprehend things when we are ready for them, when our vibration ascends, when we shift ourselves. Because if you're in a very low vibration, you're not going to understand a lot of things. So when people are like, you know, you need to be this way in order to have this, you're like, what are you talking about? And that is like so important for me to share with you, because I feel like it is not an easy thing to do. Because if it was easy, we would all be millionaires. We would all be healthy. We would all have soulmate relationships. Our world wouldn't be looking the way it's looking, right? So how do you shift your identity so you could, once these teachers show up, understand them? Once the Napoleon Hills, the Neville Goddards, the Andrew Capps, the Amanda Francises show up into your life, you know what the fuck they're talking about, right? So what if I told you that failure is a lie? Just like fear. No one ever told me failure was a lie, because we're constantly failing. What is failure? Where did failure come from? So you have to really, and I talk about this a little bit in my How to Script Your Dream Life. I have a little part more towards the end where I talk about magic words, you know, and the power behind the words that we express. Failure is not real, because our life is an experience. Everything that we experience builds us, empowers us, even the most harshest things. Once you get over the grief and the loss and the everything that you go through, from a relationship to death to a sickness to, you know, loss of whatever type of loss you have, and you really sit down and you look at it and you decipher what's going on, you notice that it was actually a lesson. It was actually preparing you first, so maybe you don't repeat it. Like if it's a pattern, like a lot of the times patterns show up in our lives as reminders of the things that we do not want. And you're allowed to say, no, I didn't choose that. I'm going to choose again. And even the law of attraction doesn't tell you that. The law of attraction says the universe is constantly hearing you. They don't hear no, they don't hear I don't want disease. They don't. That's not true. I'm a bit of an anthropologist when it comes through spirituality. And I notice that the universe hears no, loud and clear. No is a very powerful word. No. I have this magic that I declare, and I'm not going to share it with you because it's my magic. And it was like a gift, you know, given to me because of the line of work that I do for my clients. That when my clients are going through a certain thing, they don't want to go through it no more, I tend to go astrally, spiritually into the situation, and I say, no, that's not so, this cannot be, they don't want this. And I'm not turning back the wheels of time. I don't have a time machine. But what I do is I cause a ripple effect in the timeline. So if, especially when it's a person that's causing these frictions in your lives. Now, it doesn't always work because we have free will. And you could be an asshole. And no matter what I do, you could decide, I don't care, I'm just going to mistreat my girlfriend because I'm an asshole and that's who I am. So then that is now a life choice that you, as a divine person, needs to be like, this person does not deserve me because I'm fucking awesome and they're a piece of crap. So failure is not real. You grasp that? You cannot fail. So if now you know that you cannot fail, is it impossible to have the things that you desire? No. it absolutely is not impossible. Everything is possible. With God, everything is possible. Everything exists under the infinite divine energy of God. So now that you know that failure is not, and I want you to really grasp that. Now that you know that failure is not real. Because all the time, like I said, my mother-in-law was the first one. They used to always tell me that I was going to amount to nothing because, you know, I was always spending money and I was doing this and I was doing that. And I got away from her. And it wasn't until I see her as just the shell that she is, because she's gone. She's mentally gone. And see her and I'm like, she doesn't have anything. Nothing to show for all her hard work. Nothing. No one around her. She, instead of sowing seeds of love, connection, compromising with her kids, because no one's perfect, but having that balance, that connection, that relationship, she chose the latter. And then it shows me that all these bullies, they try to bully us into thinking that we don't deserve, thinking that we cannot have this or that or the other, thinking that this is the way it is, that favorite quote. Addressing the factors in our lives and erasing the things that we don't want. Now, I do a ritual with you guys all the time where we erase people, situations, circumstances, things that we do not want and cancel them out. So the universe does hear no. It certainly does. So now that you know that failure is bullshit, just like fear, completely bullshit. Now that you know that, and I get it, you can comment below. Tell me all the reasons you do not agree with me. Tell me all the reasons you're going to side with failure. Go ahead, comment them below. I will address every single one of them. Because failure is not real. Failure is something that was created to keep us in line, just like fear. It was something created to keep us in line. Some big bad boogie story that they told us when we were kids. If you don't do this, you're going to fail. If you don't do that, you're going to fail. Be careful, don't go out with them. They're going to fail. Those are failures. How many times did you hear that in your life? If you don't get a job, you're a failure. If you don't go to college, you're a failure. How many times was that verse in different wordings sewn together, thrown at you? How many times? How many of you are working professional jobs but are super unhappy because your parents told you that if you weren't a doctor, a lawyer, what are the other ones? Whatever the fucks, you were going to be a failure. And then you're working these jobs that you don't love. 50, 40, 60 hours a week, sometimes more. I hear crazy hours. How many of you? And you think that you have to do it. And then no matter how much you work, you can't seem to have enough money to pay for your lifestyle. So who's the one that told you that you needed to be that so you wouldn't be a failure? So even that, you're not a failure. You just need to shift your identity. So how do you shift your identity? How do you do it? How do you fucking do it? So shifting your identity is assuming what you desire as if it has already occurred. Now, this is where I tell you it's not going to be fucking easy. So whoever tells you that it's easy, they're lying to you. It is not just one of those meditations where you go and you quantum jump and you see yourself in another reality. That's bullshit. Shifting your reality is adding little things into your life right now to create what you desire. Now, here's the issue, people. I know a lot of you want to manifest things in 24 hours. And you'll notice that on my channel, I do not share with you those super manifesting 24-hour magical tricks. Why? Because that's 1%. Now, I'm not going to say I haven't manifested in 24 hours. I have, and less. I have script stuff for people. 4 hours later, it has came through. So yes, absolutely, it works. You hear about this all the time. But that is a rarity. In order for you to change your lifestyle, not a pay this bill quick bullshit, because the bill's coming to you next month and a month after that and a month after that. Not a let's fix this man so he could be better with me, because guess what? If we do a spell on him, we'll probably fix him for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. But if he's an asshole, he's gonna be an asshole. Same things for women or whatever the fucks. The point is, to shift our identity, we have to construct what is going on around us. And I didn't see this until I saw this. And I know I'm Yodifying it. But the reason you're not seeing, and here is a whole other thing. The reason you're not seeing what I'm trying to share with you, because some of you, that's why I said comment below, share all your input, go ahead, vent. Take this as your venting video. Daisy, this is my life. I don't know what you're fucking talking about, because I'm going through this, that, and the other, and it's all a bunch of failure. So please, what are you talking about? Is because we're being conditioned. We're constantly being programmed. We're constantly being shown chaos. We're constantly being shown Armageddon, end of times. Here's another thing. And I talk about this all the time. You can go to a million of my videos and I share this all the time. One of my favorite movies is Tomorrowland. And the reason that movie is my favorite movie, and I recommend everybody to go watch that movie, is because in the movie, the world ends. Because everybody is being conditioned to focus on the end of times. What are we seeing in our world right now, people? We have 22 fucking wars going on right now. So if we're all on the news focusing on this person killing and that person killing and this war and that war and the nuclears and this, we're gonna cause another human disaster. Another, not even human, because there's lots of us here. The reason why there's so many races on this planet is because we come from different lands. I just think it's so funny when people don't believe in like aliens and, you know, I think that baffles me. But this is a reason why different cultures have different ideas, different divinities, different religion, because they come from different places. I feel like Earth is a very special place. And we were always told that humans suck. Humans are created in divine's image. So think about it. If I'm a master villain, came from planet X, and I knew that God created a civilization in his image, and I don't want them to take control or be more than me, wouldn't I want to go to that planet and try to condition them into not being all powerful? Wouldn't I want to try to control them? And it's very easy to control people. All you have to do is say, I'll give you money. I'll give you this lifestyle. Constantly, you see them. All the celebrities are fucking tricked. Are they happy? No. Many of them are miserable. And they're coming out like wasps out of a broken nest. I think the last one that started talking crazy is Cardi B. I'm not sharing all of this with you to bring more fear. I'm sharing this with you to wake up, to acknowledge that what you have been fed is not the whole truth. So, revelations. What if I told you that the revelations that everybody's claiming, the apocalypse, and tell you, my mom's a Christian, she talks about this all the time, this is the end of times. I'm sure the people at the time of the Black Death were saying it's the end of times. I'm sure the people with the Spanish flu were saying it's the end of the times. I know World War II, they were probably saying it's the end of the times. But what if there's an alternative reality and option? What if we're actually going into the era of Aquarius? Because you know it gets really, really bad before it gets really, really good. That's also in my book. I talked about this in one of my other videos. Really important of how to manifest and not let go because it gets really, really bad before it gets really, really good. So how do we shift your identity? Get to the fucking point, Daisy. So let's say, for instance, and of course I'm going to use me. Actually, let's use one of my clients. I have a client who wanted to be a nurse. She's dreamt about it, but she started a really young mama. And she felt like she didn't have time. You know, her baby took all her time. And she's like, Daisy, if I don't do this, I'm already in my 30s. If I don't do this, I'm not going to want to do this when I'm in my 40s and 50s, which is never too late. You know, you hear about all the time. I used to know a piano student that started learning piano at the age of 80 something. So it's never too late. But I get it. I get it. She's in her 30s. She wants to, you know, you're going through that little type of what's my next chapter when you're in your 30s. You want to know what have I done? What have I not done? So I said to her, I go, today we're in an era where it's so easy to go to school because you could do school from home. It's so easy. Before it was really, really hard because you actually had to go somewhere and you needed a babysitter. So I said, I need you to sit down and I need you to write all the reasons why you want to become a nurse. What is it about you becoming a nurse that brings happiness to you? And then I need you to write all the reasons why you shouldn't be a nurse. And we're going to talk about the list. Of course, she paid me to mentor her through this. So she did the homework. She comes back. We have another sit down. And her list of all the reasons why she wanted to be a nurse outweighed the list of why she didn't, why she couldn't. So I said, so this is something that you're passionate for. This is something that you really want. Now we're going to shift your identity. So she's getting excited because a lot of people, when you hear shifting your identity, and you have a lot of people do all these quantum jumpings and meditations and everything, which are great. But if you do one of those meditations and you go back to your life and you're not doing the action work, you know, I could be in my spiritual world all day and all night and live happily ever after. If I come back in my physical world and I'm not doing anything, I'm not really shifting my identity. So what she did was that she did simple things. One of the first things she did, she told one of her best friends that she was so excited about becoming a nurse, and her friend went out and bought her like this really expensive stethoscope with her name engraved on it. And she got, and I talk about it and I get emotional. Sorry, give me a second. It just feels so good to hear my clients' like stories of manifesting, because you think about it, something simple as becoming a nurse or a teacher or whatever, and then if you're doing something that's your purpose, and her issue was the guilt of her baby, because she really wanted to have her baby, and she felt that if she gave a time to like her profession of nursing, that she was taking away from her baby. So I said, sorry guys, because I get emotional, and you know, I'm a very sad. Okay, I'm back. So we were talking about, you know, she got this gift. She's like, oh my God, it was just me talking to my friend, and I get it. She has money, you know, so it was very easy for her to buy me this extraordinary gift. But it wasn't even the gift. She's like, when I first got it, I felt this energy, this kind of like vibration, and I said, that's called gratitude. And she's like, yes. I go, and here's another thing. Oh, the shit that you're going to get, you guys need to take notes, because let me tell you. I said gratitude, everybody thinks is a word, because that's what we're taught by a lot of masters and a lot of teachers. Say thank yous. I am grateful. But gratitude is an emotion, it's an energy, it's a frequency. It's something that you feel. Think about something that you went through that made you really, really, really happy. And you're thinking about it and you're feeling that emotion. You're feeling gratitude over that experience. And then by stating I am grateful during that process amplifies the whole vibration. So, oh, she got a stethoscope. She hadn't signed up for school. I said, let's synchronize this. Let's sit down. Let's make a plan. Let's not overwhelm ourselves, because the problem with you is that you are feeling guilty over the baby. She's like, oh my God, I am. Because I'm feeling like, oh, I chose to have a baby and now I'm going to leave the baby. And I'm like, you're not leaving the baby. You're the mom. You're not going anywhere. She's like, I know, but just a thought that I'm going to put time over, you know, school and whatever. And I said, well, I go, what you need to do is find a school that's going to work around you. And that is so possible right now. But of course she hadn't done that. She hadn't gone to school in a long time. She did a lot of like homeschooling, and then I think she got like her GED herself. So she really wasn't, you know, into the whole school thing. So I said, I'm sure you could, you know, go start researching, get on there, put your information in, and tell them from the get-go. Do not let anybody, give you what they think that is right for you. You give yourself what is right for you. I'm going to school XYZ for this amount of time, and I'm gonna and then allow your time. It's not a rush, because she's okay. Like, her husband was doing good. She wanted to do this. It wasn't for the money. It was because this is something that she was passionate about. So she was lucky. It was easier for her. Her issue was that she chose to have a baby, and she felt guilty because she wanted something for her. So we go through that because we feel that we don't deserve, and that energy of not deserving what we desire sabotages our manifesting. So how do you do that? Because sometimes you're going to be constantly feeling that you don't deserve this. You have to push against that ebb energy, that constant wave that's pushing you down, saying you don't deserve this, you don't deserve this, you don't deserve, you're not with your baby, you're a bad mom. Like, I mean, the shit that energy pushes you down towards, it's really, really relentless and very negative. So you have to, what I do is I cancel that energy out. I'm like, no, I thank you for, and I'll thank it. Thank you for reminding me that I need to balance everything out. That's a great reminder. But no, I'm not feeling guilty because I love my child, and my child's going to benefit because guess what? They're going to look at me and be like, oh, my mom is a nurse. My mom went to school after she had me. Because you never know what things are going to inspire your children or your grandchildren. It's super duper crazy. You just never know. So long story short, she is still going to school. She's taking her time. If she doesn't want to take a semester because, whatever, she doesn't, because she is not in a hurry. But I told her, don't put it away. Like sometimes we'll be like, oh, I'm going to skip this semester. I said, don't do that, because then sometimes when you do that, then you don't go back because you make all excuses. Of course, this is why she has me as her mentor, to kind of keep her inspired and kind of on path. It's a good thing about having mentors and having inspired individuals that are going to help you, achieve what you intend and desire, because that ebb energy is constantly working against your abilities to manifest. So shifting your identity is by taking those steps towards what you desire. So she didn't completely wake up the next day as a nurse, like some of those meditations, And the good thing is, because I do a lot of the quantum jumping energies, and that's the whole point of those quantum jumping vibrations and energy is so you guys could pay attention to the signs and the action steps that you have to take in order to manifest what you desire. The thing is, if you don't know what those signs are, if you're not realizing them in your life, that meditation didn't do anything for you. Absolutely nothing. You have to repeat and repeat and repeat it. And then once these signs constantly show up in your life, you'll be like, oh, a stick of butter. I keep seeing that in my dreams. What does it mean? And then you look up what a stick of butter means, seeing what information came from that stick of butter in your dream. That's giving you confirmation about the things that are coming into your life, and then staying in gratitude with the things that you already have. Because if you're loathing your life, then you're not connecting with a high vibration, a high frequency. And again, I always say, we all have our moments. We all have our meltdowns. I have them constantly. But it's okay to go through these moments 1 day, 2 days, but do not sit in them. Do not sit in those vibrations and energies, because they will completely sabotage your life and suck your vibration and your energy, and then you don't manifest what you intend and desire. Take your time to write what you intend and desire. And I share this all the time. In my Life Book class, we created a book where we share everything we want in this book. And the whole point of that class is that your vibration believes and synchronizes that this book has all the power, because everything you write in it is going to manifest. Now, the way for that to work is with intention and action and synchronicity and realizations. Now, a lot of my participants enjoyed it, saw a lot of fruition, but I did have one that's like, this book sucked. It didn't do anything for me, Daisy. So she hired me to get kind of like a glimpse and a reading of what happened and why it didn't work for her. And then we sat down and we went through the thing. And so because from the beginning, she didn't believe that that book held power. If you give energy to failure, even if I'm telling you it's not real, failure becomes very real to you. It's like the beliefs. Think about it. If I believe in Santa Claus, because I tell you that I saw him when I was a little girl, and I ultimately believe in him, and you come to me and tell me, no, Daisy, Santa Claus is not real. My mother told me. She gave me all the reasons, all the history. Santa Claus is not real. I believe he's real. You're not going to believe he's real. We're different beliefs. My belief and your belief is not the same thing. So if I'm telling you the book is real, just like Santa Claus, that you're going to put all your energy to it and everything that you add to this book is going to manifest. Yet from the beginning, you're like, I'm going to take this class, but Daisy's full of shit. And you're doing it, but your energy's not there and you're not feeling it. And I told her, we sat down, we broke everything down. And I said, now go back and redo it. And I want you to email me how you feel the second time. And she has already. And she's only, I think, on the second week. And she's already like, wow, this is crazy when you change. And it happens. Sometimes our energies are just not there. We're going through stuff in our lives. We're pissed or sad or both. And it's okay. But the cool thing about my courses is you're allowed to repeat them, you know, so you could address the situations and the energies that are not working for you. Because life works for you, not to you. So when when I believe and when I want something, that God, Spirit, my angels, everything synchronized and shared and expressed to me. The easiest way for you to believe that this is true is with parking spaces. The easiest way to manifest something and realize that what we are sharing, all of the teachers sharing about the law of attraction is true, is by in syncing with car parking. I will go to Disney Springs in the busiest time, which is usually Christmas because everybody's fucking shopping. I like to park on the second floor in a certain area. And that is the most popular because it's right next to where you walk into Disney Springs. And my husband's like, oh, it says that it's full. And sometimes I'll even go up to the third floor and I'll come right back down to the second floor. And my parking is always there. I might move a couple spots, but my spots are always there. Because either I will come right after someone left, or I'll come during somebody that is leaving, or I'll come during somebody that's walking to the parking, or whatever the situation, my parking is always there because I have already addressed it. I believe that I know that whenever I go to Disney Springs, you better believe that my space is there. And just like if I'm with my husband, who I told you is very sarcastic and has a lot of mood shifts, and he woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and hurry up, let's do this, and hurry up, and you're running late, and I can't, and he gets into that energy, the whole day shifts another way. Again, I can't explain everything in one video. And this is why my videos are always like, oh, you should make shorter videos because you'll get more views on YouTube. The thing is that when I want to share something with you, I want to really break it down in such a way for you to really acknowledge it and decipher it and understand it and work it into your life. So shifting your identity, if we're going to wrap it up, is about you saying, I want to be this, focusing more on the lifestyle as a whole, not just the relationship, but the relationship, the career, how you want to look, how you want to feel, and really creating that lifestyle. And then adding the little pieces like a puzzle every single day. Something that I used to do, and I'm going to wrap it up right here, is when I used to visualize, I was so envisioned by everything that I wanted that I didn't make it familiar. There was no familiarity in my visualization because I wanted a different home. I was always wearing different clothes. My body was always different. So it was like it was almost like a whole other lifetime. Like that's a daisy from like a whole other lifetime. So it wasn't until I started shifting that vision into me now, so I could gradually add to it. And then what I would do and I would purchase things like clothes that I would add to my visualizations, creating that familiarity and expanding. I walk around my apartment and I visualize it expanding into the dream home. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't have the vision because, unfortunately, the era of the video games has taken away from your guys' imagination. We grew up on our imaginations before the 90s, before the era of Nintendo and Sega and all that stuff. Now everything is virtual, this and video that, and people are like watching 7-second videos and it still doesn't catch their, what I'm saying? Like there's no attention span. So that's why it's really, really hard for you to visualize, but it is a practice. It is something you could build. Your mind is God. It's the most powerful tool that you have in order to manifest. So you want to exercise this part of your identity, of your physicality, and especially your spiritual self. So shifting your identity is by kind of putting together your vision, your dream. Even if you put it pictures on Pinterest, bring some of those pictures into your home. Something else other people do is they will download the pictures of what they want in their house and they'll put them on their walls. That way it's something that they could see and envision. That's how you shift your identity. You have to not only see it, you have to believe it, you have to feel it, and you have to be it. So start today by really honing in on what you intend and desire and start adding the puzzle pieces, even if it is a 1,000,000-piece puzzle. It all has a beginning and it all has a completion. You just got to keep working at it until it all comes together. And that's going to feel so good. So I hope to see you all part of the scripting class. The first thing that we are doing is creating our lifestyle. It's going to take us 5 to 6 to 7 days to create our lifestyles before we get into the addressing all of the vibrations and energy. So it's really, really fun because you get to realize what you want and desire from such an expanded viewpoint. Send you love and light and blessings, and I will see you on the next video. Namaste.